Hi guys, welcome back. In today's video, we are going to be talking about the Q2FY25 result of Tinna Rubber and Infrastructure Limited. Okay, we will talk about both the result as well as a con call. I think a lot of y'all could have been amazed that this is one such company where the result has been there. You see that the management has been walking the talk, guidance we achieve kar raha hai. In spite of all these things, why is that the stock has not been being rewarded? In fact, the stock for the last couple of quarters, you see it's been falling down. You see there has been an there must have been some overhang over here, right? So what is the reason over here that we see, what is the problem that we see with this company? Okay, so first thing first, what's wrong with this? Okay, yeah, first thing first, let us understand about the business model. Okay, so what does Tinna Rubber exactly do? What is their business model? How do they make money? So Tinna Rubber, if you see Tinna Rubber, if you see, the company makes whatever the tire that is there. It could be any kind of tires. It could be the passenger car ka tire, it could be the truck ka tire, bus ka tire. Any of these tires, when they can no longer be used, right? When they can no longer be used, what they do is they take this tire and they add some other products and make a better product out of it. Basically, they recycle tires and make some products out of it. Now, what are the kind of products that they do? If you look at Tinna Rubber, there are 4 segments. Okay, the first and the most important segment is the infrastructure segment. In this infrastructure segment, what they do, they get this tire, okay, whatever that unused tire, whatever it can no longer be used, they get a tire, they make crumb rubber out of it. Basically, they process the tire and they add bitumen to it, okay. And this component that is there, which is crumb rubber and plus bitumen that is there, it is used to make your roads, aapka highway ka roads, all this infrastructure, all of these things that are there, you will be using over there. And this is, like I told you, the big part of the revenue. Almost 50 to 52% of the revenue comes from here, okay. The next part, the big part of the revenue, is your infrastructure ka space. Now, in this infrastructure ka space, if you see, here what they do is, again, whatever the recycled tires are there, they add some other product over here and they make this conveyor belts, or they can make a new tire also out of it. This contributes 25%. The third is your consumer space, out of which 10% of the revenue comes. Here, again, the recycled tire is used to make up, it could be different kinds of, balls, could be golf balls, could be tennis balls, or it could be, aapka gym ka mat, gym ka tiles, all of these products. And the last is aapka steel products, which is 13% of the revenue, where you used to make the steel abrasion balls that are there. Okay, so this is the business model. Basically, it is a recycling business which basically converts aapka jo bhi tire hai into a better product. Okay, so this is the business model. Okay, now let's talk about Q2FY25 result. Okay, before I go to the Q2FY25 result, y'all, I just want to cover on the guidance part of it. Now, a very interesting part of Tinna was, actually, I still remember this. Okay, it was, I think, September of last year. I think Q2 of last year, probably I think September 24th, if I'm not wrong with the date. I still remember it. I opened the PPT and there was this Vision 2027. If you go almost to the bottom, they had given this Vision 2027, which was basically the guidance. Okay, let's say if today is what they want to achieve in the next 3 to 4 years ka span. Okay, so basically they wanted to go from 300 crores company to a 900 crore company. They wanted to increase the tire crushing capacity that is there. As of last year, it was 80,000 metric ton per annum, and they wanted it to take by FY27 to 250,000 metric ton per annum. They wanted to go from 4 plants to 10 plants. They wanted to improve their ROCE, their ROE, their margins. They were targeting a 25% kind of CAGR in terms of revenue growth, 33% in terms of profitability CAGR also. So overall, this was a Vision 2027 they had given. Very, very interesting it was, okay. And for the last 4 quarters also, they've been performing really well. In fact, for this year, if you look FY24, FY25, the target has been to achieve 500 crores in revenue. Okay, now let's look at Q2 FY25 result. If you look at the sales growth, the first and the most important parameter, you see that the revenue growth that is there has grown by 47%. And the management had told, हम लोग 500 crore revenue target कर रहे इस बार, so that you can expect probably like 110 crores of run rate every quarter. Q2, you will see the company has clocked 118 crores in terms of run rate. Okay, so first of all, sales growth has been done. They are walking the talk. Let's come to the now the profits. Profits, if you look, profits has grown from 8 crores in the last quarter, that is Q2 I'm talking about, last Q2, versus this Q2, it is 12 crores. So you see that PAT also has grown by 50%. So revenue growth 47%, PAT is by 50%, EPS has grown from 4.4 to 7.7. So overall on all metrics you see in the income statement, it is good only. Now, matlab operating leverage hai, growth hai. So what is the problem over here? The problem comes is over here, agar aap dekhte ho, it comes in like I told you, the PAT ka numbers. Okay, so if you look at September 2023, if you look, the profit before tax was 10 crore. Okay, and in September 2024 it is 16 crore. So good, 10 to 16 is a good 60%, right? Like there's nothing wrong. So यहाँ पे क्या हुआ है, recently over a couple of quarters back, the Indian government has started this EPR credit. EPR का credit का मतलब है extended producer's responsibility, which means let's say if you are, let's say could be a manufacturer or could be someone who's importing the product such as plastic product, tire product, any product where it becomes very hard for the person to recycle, then you have to take responsibility, you know, actually, like, you know, you have to do some, you have to be careful about how you produce it. You have to make it sustainable to a certain extent. Like I told you, ये एक recycling company है. So now EPR में क्या होता है, you can either sell your credits. If you are a recycling company, of course you're doing better work, you're making something sustainable to the environment. So whatever you make, you know, there you can sell your credits and for that you get money. Okay, let's say if you're a buyer, let's say if you're a tire company जो tire बना रहा है, right, you're making a very unsustainable product, then what you'll have to do to show that, you know, आप कुछ अच्छा काम कर रहे हो, आप कुछ recycling पे आप कुछ मदद करो environment के लिए, you have to buy the credits. ठीक है, now यहाँ पे EPR credits, यहाँ पे like I told you, Tinna is a recycling company, they are making the environment better. So what they do is for every, you know, for a certain amount of units that they make, they can sell this credit and they get paid for this. Okay, so in this quarter, if you see, out of this 16 crore in profit before tax, you see that 8.5 crores has been from this EPR credits. So last time का कितना था, 10 करोड़ था PBT, इस बार का PBT है 16 करोड़. आप 16 करोड़ से 8.5 करोड़ माइनस करो, so effectively you will see profit before tax has actually degrown over here compared to last year, than let's say, you know, than let's say to be grown. It's only because of this EPR credits जो 8.5 करोड़ का आपका EPR credits है, it's only because of that we are seeing an operating leverage. So how is it possible that कि like आपका sales growth है but आपका profit before tax थोड़ा पे hit हो रहा है यहाँ पे? If it's not, like I told you ना, अगर this EPR credits would have not been there, then you would have not seen this operating leverage, you know. So what is the reason? The reason is because over the last couple of quarters, this quarter and previous quarter, if you see, there has been a bit of tension. Like I told you, right, this Tinna Rubber जो है, they all their plants, they have two plants in they have this Barley plant and Panipat ka plant. They are located near the port. Now what they do is they import all this raw material, that is their unused tires that are there, na, they import this material. Now what has happened, you would have known na, anything with export and import, there has been a little bit strain because of this Israel and Hamas war, क्योंकि वहाँ पे Red Sea का crisis चल रहा है, freight cost has become higher. So one is their logistic expenses has increased. Okay, so expenses part वहाँ पे increase हुआ है. Second is उनका जो raw material का prices that also has increased. So both of these has killed the operating margin over there. That is one reason you see operating margin has not improved. The other reason is in this quarter, in this Q2, a little bit employee expenses you will see has been up. It is because, you know, bonuses, ESOP scheme की वजह से थोड़ा सा वहाँ पर भी operating expenses has increased. So all of these three reasons are why you see that, you know, in spite of having a very nice top line growth, in spite of you seeing the management walking the talk, you see that like वहाँ पे bottom line is not getting translated to bottom line because of higher expenses in terms of your raw material, in terms of your freight cost, which the market is definitely not liking it, because if not for this EPR credits that they get, you would have seen significantly, probably a lot of pressure in the bottom line over here. Okay, other than that, like this is, I would say, the main reason. Other than that, if you look at the margins also, like I told you, EBITDA margins अगर आप देखते हो, it is 15.7 versus 16.3 last quarter, वहाँ पर भी उतना pressure आ चुका है. Now other than that, if you look at the other segments that is there, उनका industrial segment, उनका infrastructure segment, उनका consumer segment and steel segment, everything, revenue has also grown, volume has also grown. I'll just give you the numbers. Infra segment में उनका volume growth था 52% and revenue growth was 86% on a half yearly basis. Similarly, उनका industrial segment में volume growth था 36% and revenue growth of 44%. Overall consolidated, if I have to take the volume growth of all the four segment, consolidated basis में अगर आप देखते हो, volume growth has been 19% on a year-on-year basis. So all in all, good over here. Direction wise business अच्छा चल रहा है. ठीक है. Capex का बात कर रहे हैं तो if you this year, starting of this year, they told, you know, they are going to spend around 45 to 50 crores in Capex. That is going to be there, and it is going to go mainly for their Barley plant. Okay, and that has been already commissioned, and by the year end we should see around 75 to 100 crore coming from this Barley plant. Okay, And the other, they've started this new in their Panipat ka plant, they're starting this new polymer composite business also. Nothing, we have to see how this goes. Other than that, last time, if you remember, in Q1 there are 3 subsidiaries that opened. One is in South Africa, they started a joint venture, right? And this will be commissioned in Q3 of this year, that is in the next quarter it will be commissioned. उनका Saudi Arabia में और एक subsidiary उन्होंने खोला था. This will be commissioned by first H1 of FY26 coming year, ठीक है? And Oman में, which they already have a plant in Oman, by the way, and this is still EBITDA positive also. This Oman plant also, they're trying to expand the capacity, they're trying to get permission. शायद इसको expand करने में capacity, it will cost them around 5 CR, and this also should be operational by this year end, Q4 of FY25. This new capacity at Oman also should be operational. So overall, you see, one thing over here with this business is sales growth है, guidance is being achieved, right? Sales growth है, guidance is being achieved. Capex जो है, whatever the capex that they have in plan, that is also being done, that is also being taken care of. There is no cut down in terms of any kind of capex that they're doing. There is no revision in guidance that you're seeing, right? Like Abibi, if you look at the con call, if you read the con call, you'll see they're very much intact with the vision 2027. They're very confident they will achieve it. Not just the vision 2027, इस साल का जो उनका target है to achieve that 500 crores in revenue, that is also very intact, because if you look over here, in Q1 it was 136 crore, okay, and in Q2 it was 118 crore. So total it is 254 crore. So almost half of it has been achieved, and you all know for these kind of companies H2 is better than H1. So of course H2 may, I think it will be easy for them to do that 250 crore also, okay? So over here we are not seeing any kind of cutback in guidance. The only thing over here, the biggest problem, like I told you, is the fact ये like raw materials को overhang है and the freight cost को overhang, which is basically killing the bottom line. Okay, now we do not know, right? We can't tell कि like when will this raw material prices come down, because this is something neither I know the answer, neither the management knows the answer, right? Only God knows it. And of course we also do not know when will this freight cost that is there because of this Israel-Hamas crisis, because of this Red Sea crisis, will get better. This is the big overhang that lies on the business. Now what happens over here is, see, this is again, if you look at Tinna Rubber over here, it is no longer in that low growth, low PE category, because I remember when this Vision 2027 had come out, I think at that time the stock was at 22 ka PE, okay. I remember this very well. It was at 22 ka PE and it was a 25% ka growth engine. So you were getting that low PE, high growth business. In that segment it is. Now it has come to high growth. It has come in the category of high growth, high PE ka business. So what happens is, it becomes very imperative over here for the company to keep performing, so that the valuations that is there, it no longer becomes the enemy. It becomes very important for it to sustain that kind of growth, right? Along with that, they also have to make sure this operating leverage is also sustained over here. The biggest problem over here, like I told you, is the margins. Will they be able to sustain the margin? Because that remains like an overhang over here. So as long as these two conditions, or these two situations, as you can call it, right? If these two situations, that raw material cost and that freight cost, doesn't get better for the business, it will be like that overhang, which is, like pulling the stock down. You would have seen that the ships that are there in the harbor, they put that hook over there, so to stall the ship towards the harbor. So it becomes like that, like this two situations over here is becoming like that hook is constantly pulling the business down, is pulling the share price down over here. So that becomes a very I would say uninteresting part over here. But other than that, if you look, everything is going well. So hopefully these two situations get better for the business. It gets better for the shareholders also as a result, right? Overall good. No problem in terms of the direction of the business. Like I told you, business is doing well, direction is right, guidance is very strong, guidance is still being achieved. Just the bottom line becomes a bit of a tension. That is it. Just the bottom line is is a bit of worrisome as to like how it goes forward, because see, ultimately you would need the bottom line also now, because agar aapka operations pe thoda problem ho raha hai, then going forward you will need how will you sustain the business operation? You will need cash now. So that becomes a big problem. So unless these two situations doesn't get resolved, then no matter what they do, it becomes very tough. Because see, यहाँ पे if you look at this business, if you look at the valuation part also, यहाँ से और एक to have that PE rating, you need both of it. You need the growth, sales growth, and you need the bottom line growth also to be consistent over here. Okay, so going forward यहाँ पे let's say already आपका PE rating में दिक्कत हो रहा है, right? Already you're a high PE engine, right? High PE, high growth. So PE rating में होना, it becomes a little bit tougher, right? It is easy for you to go from 20 to 40 PE than let's say 100 to 200 PE. That is one thing. The other thing is you need, see, for any businesses you need PE rating and EPS to make quick money. Okay, so PE rating becomes a little bit tough over here because of course it is a bit on the expensive side. But if you look over here, the EPS also can become tough over here to grow if let's say this EPR credit is no longer there in the future and nobody knows कि like हर quarter कहाँ से कितना EPR आएगा, right? So this EPS का growth also can come under pressure. So going forward, let's say this EPS का growth also comes under pressure without this EPR credits, right? Then a lot of overhang can sustain over here. That is the only thing. So that's it about Tinna Rubber. I will make another video on Gina Seco, and yeah, that's that for today. Bye.